Early birds have been up since dawn this morning in a concerted eavesdrop of our feathered friends. Here's David Hughes.
So for the rest of us who are enjoying our Sunday morning lie-in, there's always tomorrow.
Oh, that's the briefest report I've ever introduced on a news bulletin. No doubt he was enjoying himself.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Penk's Radio Nightmares.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, this is Steve Penk with more Radio Nightmares, more of those wonderful radio bloopers. And you can always rely on the public to spice things up on the air. They often say the last thing you expect them to say.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your question for James Alcock?
Well, I've hesitated to bring it on the air. I've had this bird, it's in the beginning of June, and it was 5 weeks old.
Yeah. Well, what, Budgie?
Yes.
Yes.
And he's absolutely marvellously tame and everything, and he lives free in the room. And there's a tree trunk there he practically lives on, and there's a mirror and a little ball like a lobster ball. Well, he hangs on these two and sits on the top of the tree trunk, and he masturbates. And I presume it is masturbating. He hugs this little ball and puts his wings all round it, and he goes mad on top of this tree trunk. And I wondered if it's all right, or if I should remove these toys.
Right, Mrs. Clark. Well, thank you for your question. Is Mrs. Clark right in her diagnosis, James?
Yes, I'm sure she is. Is it all right? I don't think it'll do the bird any harm. He won't go blind or anything.
A swimming pig from Houston has received a top award for bravery. 7-month-old Priscilla the pig rescued an 11-year-old boy from drowning. Well, the weather for swimming pigs today, mostly cloudy, dry with some spots of rain. Tonight, staying cloudy, but generally mild.
Well, she'll stay with Mum for at least a year, and then it's possible that we shall remove her and choppers will be mated again, because in the ordinary way, in the wild, someone's very jealous. She says, why is the other chimp getting all the attention? Well, that's what you think of the baby. Yes. We do remove the baby so that we can get her tame, and then she will join the group of young chimps with the other two that have been born this year up in our new chimp complex.
I don't think I can do this interview like this.
Occupation?
Journalist and broadcaster.
Place of birth?
Lewis.
You have 30 seconds on the Lewis Trivia Quiz Book starting from now. Where is the only lake in Lewis?
I don't know.
You're listening to BBC Local Radio serving Mid and North East Lancashire, broadcasting on 351 metres, that's 351 metres in the medium wave and 96.4 VHF. It's 5 minutes past 4. 5 minutes past 12.
Right.
But, can I...
Well, that's all the water on the floor now. That's, as you heard, the Radio Leicester glass is now broken, so we're back to the old tin mug again.
Why do you think the boat people are leaving the country in such large numbers? Are they dissatisfied with the... Sorry, we've got a bit of... Are you still there?
Yes, I'm
Fine.
sorry, I kicked... Someone's left a bucket under the table.
Oh, right.
I kicked the bucket.
It's necessary to bring such equipment as syringes and needles with the traveller. And condoms, obviously, speak for themselves.
Do they? The couple later split, and Mandy Smith's modelling career rocketed. Now she and the former Rolling Stone are back together and are planning a June weather.
You are listening to Steve Penk's Radio Nightmares.
Hello, you're on the air.
An investigating magistrate has been appointed, but it may be some time before the case comes to court. This report now from Sophie Decker. And we'll have to bring you that report later. 20 soccer fans are being questioned by police trying to find out how a man fell overboard from a North Sea ferry. The Tor Britannia turned back to Harwich, where it was met by police after fighting broke out during a voyage to Sweden. Michael O'Neill reports. A report out today says that thousands of British jobs are under threat because European companies are taking over more and more council services. The Association of London Authorities says the Spanish and French are snapping up contracts put out to competitive tender, and more continental countries are moving in. Authorities in Sheffield, York, Rochdale and Southampton say the Continentals have shown a keen interest in running some services. This report now from Clive Murray. We seem to be having some difficulty with these reports, and we'll bring this on to you as soon as possible. Muslim leaders around the country have condemned the bombing of a top London store in which a woman was seriously injured. The department store, Liberties, has opened for business as usual today, despite the bomb attack outside a window display of books. It's believed Muslim extremists are responsible for planting the bomb. The police had received a phone warning just before the explosion in which the controversial author Salman Rushdie was mentioned. And now let's see if we can go back to that story about the Euro jobs. Clive Murray reporting. Well, we are having some problem with our reporting tonight.
The strike isn't successful in getting farm prices up. Knut Friedal says he'll be looking for another job in a year. And that will mean the end of farming for a fourth. Knut Friedal says he'll be looking for another job in another year. That would mean the end of farming for a fourth. Knut Friedal says he'll be looking for another job in another year.
You are listening to Steve Penk's Radio Nightmares.
It's 7 minutes past 6 o'clock. And to farming. And once again, the County Council's small holdings in Somerset are under the spotlight. The council are considering selling the farms to Bristol hot air balloonists have broken the British women's long-distance record. The pair set off from Ashton Court this morning and beat the previous record of 101 miles. They landed this afternoon near Lowestoft, and one of the pilots, Maria Roach, says it was a perfect trouble-free flight.
Conditions were great. I mean, we took off and it was very clear and nice in Ashton Court this morning.
Oh dear, we're having technical problems.
Daphne in Wimbledon is on the line. Go ahead, Daphne. Let's move to Harry in Shepherd's Bush. I think a point about disarmament, Harry. Hello, Harry? Have we got Harry there?
Harry?
No, it's Pat, is it?
Oh, sorry, you must have the wrong number.
Oh, goodness me. These things happen. Well, the telephone system doesn't always work.
Steve Penk's Radio Nightmares.
Wow.
And our next caller is Mrs. Panchard. Yes. Hello, Mrs. Panchard.
Yes, me.
And what would you like to say?
I've forgotten now, I've gone so long.
Oh.
I told the young lady, and I told a gentleman too. I don't know who he was.
Ah, sorry about that. Okay, well, perhaps it'll come back to you. Who's our next caller?
I told you what I had.
Mrs. Oliver. Hello, Mrs. Oliver.
Hello.
The way I play devil's advocate on behalf of British Rails, quite often, you're talking about a train with a corridor through it. Quite often, of course, it's impossible to get...
Can you, just a moment. Just a moment, please. I'm on the phone.
More than on the phone, you're on the radio.
I had to go out to the local church. I was really very upset. Sorry, Mother, I'm on the radio. I beg your pardon.
That's quite all right, John. Well, at that point, we'll bring in our next caller, who's calling from Lanark, Wallace Anderson. Good evening.
Well, the kettle's just boiled.
Oh, dear, I am sorry.
You are listening to Steve Penk's Radio Nightmares.
Hello, you're on the air.
It really can be very difficult. It's 24 minutes now before 11. You've never heard this before because it's never been broadcast before. It's a track from an album that's going to come out in February, and it's by Crocus. Its title is She's Got Everything. Well, if that was Crocus, I eat gladioli for breakfast. Unfortunately, we had a little bit of a mix-up with our tape machines there. Sorry about that. And now we will rock you with Crocus. And this really is She's Got Everything.
Nancy, thanks very much for coming on this morning, and get well soon.
Yes, thank you.
There we are. Nancy Thorne on the telephone this morning talking about son's Willie and how proud she is of his snooker playing.
Sound of the Beach Boys and I Get Around. Well, John Florence and I certainly get around on Tony Takes Off. We've taken off in fine style this morning to the home of the Duke of Rutland, Belvoir Castle. Imagine the rates you'd have to pay on a place like this.
Isn't worth thinking about, does it really?
Crikey. Well, I tell you what, let's make our way towards that rather imposing front door, because I suspect They may have an inkling that we're here.
I think that's the biggest front door of any residence I've ever seen, Tony. It's absolutely huge,
The size of the knocker on it as well.
Indeed. I've seen some big knockers in my time, but that just about takes the biscuit.
You are listening to Steve Penk's Radio Nightmares.
John, did you know that today is the last day for sending Christmas air parcels and packets to a whole list of different countries around the world?
Well, funny you should say that, Kay, but I've got the names of all 43 in front of me.
You start reading, I'll help you out.
OK, then, let's go. Australia, Cameroon, Caroline Islands, Central African Republic.
Chad, Chile, Christmas Island, Cocos Islands, Comoros and Congo.
East Timor, French Polynesia, Guinea, Kiribati, Laos, Macau and Madagascar.
Mariana Islands, Marshall Islands, Mongolia, Nora Islands, New Caledonia, New Zealand and Niger.
Norfolk Island, Papua New Guinea, Peru, Philippines, Pitcairn Island, Reunion and Samoa.
The Seychelles, Solomon Islands, Taiwan and Thailand.
Toga, Tonga, Tuvalu.
Steve Penk's Radio Nightmares.
Right, that's it for this edition of Radio Nightmares. There's more next time, but before I go, where are you?
John Osman, BBC, Moscow. Oh dear. John Osman, BBC, Kingston.
Clyde Small, BBC, Moscow, Washington. Sorry, wherever I am.
Paul Reynolds, BBC, New York. Paul Reynolds, BBC, Washington.
Angus McDermott, BBC, at the... Sorry, skip the payoff. Don't know where I am.
Pat O'Brien, Channel 2 News. Where am I? Where are we, sir? Pleasantville? No. What's the name of this place?
John Simpson, BBC, wherever the hell I am. Sorry, I'll do that again. John Simpson, BBC, Blessington.